Research is an ongoing effort. Yeah. Clearly, I think over the years we've seen that the questions have evolved and become more concrete. And I think research has contributed to making those questions concrete. Part of this has to do with formulating a problem and then coming with research to identify whether that problem is actually occurring or could occur and so on. So I think that is where the research fits. We have addressed some particular areas really in detail. And again, to name one, pollen flow, for instance, or effect on beneficial organisms has been studied in detail over several hundred of studies. Obviously, people will still challenge that in itself is not enough as an answer, but it already creates a framework for at least identifying whether the issues are there and how to address them.
But do you think there are, for example, some traits in transgenic plants where you have conducted a lot of biosafety research and where you can be quite sure that you have answered enough questions so that the risk associated with these transgenic plants can be seen as minimal?
Well, it's not up to research to determine whether we have done enough. I think research contributes to creating that platform on which decisions can be based. And of course, it's logic that the traits which were there early on, like some herbicide tolerances, like some insect resistance strategies, that those have been studied really in detail over many years and around the world. So obviously that package of information is there. But again, it's up to authorities, it's up to assessors to see whether that indeed is sufficient response to allow a product to the market, for instance.
Okay. So what will be the main topics in biosafety research in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, I think the biosafety approach that we had is now clearly identifying ways on how to do things. And I think we've learned a lot in terms of problem formulation and in terms of strategies to address them. Where the new challenges are essentially with some of the more newer traits, because there we still have to build the approaches and we still have to build the studies. And especially some of those which really move into characteristics of the plant that will make the plant behave differently would of course be of importance.
So another question with a completely new field. So field trials are increasingly criticized in Germany. Although biosafety research is considered as important, this research should be conducted only in contained systems, for example, in greenhouses. So is that really feasible?
No, absolutely not. I think field trials are an essential part of bringing a product from early research into a normal environment. And a normal environment for a plant is not a greenhouse. I think every scientist who has experience with greenhouse-grown plants will tell you that only goes to a certain point and that then you will really have to test it in real environments. And it would almost be the same as saying to somebody, well, from now on you should do your driving examination only in a park somewhere which is secluded from the traffic. At a certain moment you need to go in traffic. And it's understood that people may have concerns about making that in the right framework, but still you need to go outside and have it as a logic step in a continuum of testing.
Some NGOs in Germany also criticized that past state-funded research programs were not independent enough. From your point of view, what means independent research?
Well, I think independent research essentially is good scientific research. I don't accept that people say it's because it's done by this institute or it's because it's done by that funding that it cannot be good science. Independence means that we have good reviews, that we use solid designs, that people can have access to the data and really in a scientific logic evaluate what is going on. And of course, people can claim that there is an independence, that let's say a state-owned institute is maybe more independent than an organization which belongs to a developer of the technology. But in essence, if that science is okay, if we can verify, if we have verifiable results and good designs, it should actually not matter where it comes from.
Okay. Could you please rate the intensity and or the quality of biosafety research in Germany, as far as you know?
Well, the biosafety research is obviously very good, given again the kind of access to scientific information, the publications that come out of that. I think that is the judgment for any scientist, is if they can publish their information, if it's accepted on grounds of pure scientific quality, then obviously the science is good. That is not just for Germany. Obviously, Germany has a role to play there, but we see this happening all over the world, and I think the criterion is really scientific excellence.